Okay, hello everyone again and welcome to this webinar on Microsoft Office 2013, which is the newest Office suite from Microsoft. My name is Christine Hallam from Connecting Up and I will be your host and moderator for the webinar today. Today's webinar is the second webinar in the Tech for Good webinar series brought to you by Microsoft Citizenship, TechSoup Asia and Connecting Up. Last month we had our first one, which was Introduction to Windows 8, so I believe some of you were at that webinar, and if not, we will send you a link to the recording afterwards, after the webinar as well. With me today we have Gillian Pearl from Microsoft and Ben Tia from Connecting Up, who will be actually doing the presentation and taking you through the demo of Microsoft Office 2013 and its newest features. But just a few housekeeping notes before we start. We will not be taking any verbal questions today, so if you have any questions, please type them in the question box on your webinar panel at any time during the presentation, and we will address them as we go along. We are also recording this webinar and we will send you the link to the recording and the slides afterwards, so you can catch up at your leisure and share it with your colleagues. So before we head on to Ben's presentation, I'd now like to invite Gillian from Microsoft to say a few words. Gillian, hand over to you.
Thanks, Christine. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Gillian Pearl, and I lead the Technology for Nonprofit program for Microsoft in Asia Pacific. And the webinars that we are offering to you today and throughout the months to come with Connecting Up and with TechSoup Asia are part of a broader program that we have for the nonprofit sector focused on capacity building and helping nonprofits around the region use technology. And not only is this a program in Asia Pacific, but it's a global program for Microsoft that includes software donations, events for NGOs, training, newsletters, and the like. So we're very excited to be hosting this webinar along with Connecting Up and with TechSoup Asia, who are important partners of Microsoft's. And we hope that you enjoy the session today. Following the webinar today, you will receive an email from us, and there will be a link to this recording. So if you wanted to listen to it again or forward it on, you're welcome to. And you will also receive a copy of our Tech for Good e-newsletter. And we encourage you to register for that newsletter because that's how you will find out about free trainings like the one we're offering today, as well as in-country events and other get-togethers. So please do subscribe to the Tech for Good newsletter, and we look forward to continuing to bring you webinars and other types of training and capacity building programs. Thanks very much, Christine.
Thanks, Gillian. So if you do have any question about the Microsoft programs and the Tech for Good and the NGO days, as like Gillian briefly mentioned, you're more than welcome to type them as well. And if we do have time at the end of the webinar, we can get Gillian to address them. So now I'll just hand over to Ben, who will talk a little bit about TechSoup Asia and then lead on to the presentation on Office. Over to you, Ben.
Great, thanks Christine. Just quickly about TechSoup Asia. So some of you may have heard of what we're doing. TechSoup Asia is part of a global network, and we're a not-for-profit aiming to help other not-for-profits build their capacity, especially through technology. And so what we are doing is partnering with organisations such as Microsoft, who generously donate their products to not-for-profit organisations. And our role is to make sure that the eligible not-for-profits access those donations. So through us, you can access products such as Microsoft Office 2013 Standard and Professional Plus. We'll be looking at some of the features of those today. And also other Microsoft products such as Windows 8. These products from Microsoft also include software assurance. So that means if you are thinking about upgrading sometime in the future, you can access donations of Office 2013 and upgrade them at no extra cost within the software assurance period. You can also downgrade your software as well. So if you have a new computer for your organization and you would like to install some new software, but everybody else is using Office 2010, you can still order a license of Microsoft Office 2013 through TechSoup Asia, and then you can downgrade that to Microsoft Office 2010 to match with everybody else. And then when you're ready, you can upgrade back to Microsoft Office 2013. So to find out more about what products you can access and what donations are available to your organization, simply head over to the TechSoup Asia website, which is www.TechSoup.asia. Sorry. Okay, well, today we're here to talk about the latest in Microsoft Office. So there's been a whole bunch of updates across the product range, and it's quite exciting to see the direction that Microsoft is going, especially with cloud computing. But today we're going to look at 5 of the main products that people are using. That's Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook, and OneNote. And then we'll have a quick look at SkyDrive after this and show you how it all works in the cloud. If you have any questions, as Christine was saying, please enter them in the question box and we'll pause for questions later on. So let's get started and have a look at Microsoft Word. So Word, of course, is the word processor that everyone knows and has been using, and the 2013 version of this gives us some great new updates, especially around collaboration. So here's a quick look. Let me just pause this for a second. We're just going to double check that this is working. Okay, there we go. We're back in action. I'll just jump back to the other slides just so that you'll be able to see what we'll be looking at today. So there we go. We'll be looking at Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook, and OneNote, and then SkyDrive. All right, so Microsoft Word 2013. With all the new Office updates, there's a new startup screen that offers you templates. There's a big focus on inserting rich media, so that's photos and videos, and making that easier. Plus, for anyone who's ever tried to align your photos with paragraphs or align photos with other objects, you know that that's been tricky in the past, but now there are some great features that help you do that. As I was saying before, there's better collaboration tools. Plus, especially in Microsoft Word, they've made it easier to read documents. And there's also native PDF support in Word. So what I'm going to do now is just pull up Microsoft Word for you. And this way we can actually demo this for. Okay, you can see here I've just put together a bit of a dummy document. It's all in Latin, so don't worry about reading it. But you can already see that there's some features here that weren't in previous versions of Word. If we look on the right-hand side, this is one of my favorites. It's the new commenting feature. If anyone's ever tried to work with multiple people on one document and tried to add lots and lots of comments, you know that it's been a little bit tricky because of the way that the comments are presented and also the way that they're tracked. Now we can see that if you're signed in with your Microsoft account, whenever you make a comment, it actually shows your image here. And when I hover over that image, I can have the contact details for the person there. So, for example, if Christine had written this comment, I would have her details. And I can actually contact that person directly and pull up their contact card. So that makes it a lot easier to have conversations about what you're doing in that document. And if you need to have something that's a bigger conversation than what you would normally have in the comments section, you can do that quite easily. Another great feature is that you can reply to comments now. So instead of having multiple comments on one section of the document, you can just reply directly. So I can reply to myself saying, yeah, I don't know what it says. And then it has the information there. Again, a great feature if you're working with teams on documents. As usual, you can see that the the rest of the comments are working as they used to, with just the notes about what's changed. And there we go. That's another example of replied comments. So this comment feature is fantastic. What I'll show you now is the information about live alignment. So this is when we're adding images or trying to edit images within Word itself. I'm going to take this picture here and I'm just holding it. Now I'll just click there and I'm moving it around, and you can see, I might just turn the, you can see as I do this, I'm just going to turn the review off. Okay, alright, there we go. I've just turned the comments off. So when I grab this, you can see that there's a green line that's appeared at the top of this picture. What that means is that I've aligned it to the top of that paragraph, and that's been really handy if anyone's ever tried to align these and tried to make them look good, but when they're printed out or when they're shown on somebody else's computer, it hasn't quite worked out. So now you know that that's definitely lined up. Now as I bring it over to the side there, it also lines up with my margins, another great feature. So that way you know that everything's looking smooth and in place. Also, or as I click on this image, you also notice this little menu comes up here, and this shows me the different layout options. Again, it just gives you quick access to the common tools that people use when they're using images. So I'll click on the layout options, and text wrapping is available straight away for you. So I can change this and show you what this looks like. So there we go. You've noticed that the text just moves below the image rather than wrapping around it. And I can also move the image behind the text or in front of the text, depending on what you want to do. There we go. Another great feature is being able to include videos into your documents really easily now. So I've included a video here, but I'll show you how to do that. You just click on the Insert button in the ribbon. Now the ribbon's been given a bit of a freshen up as well. It's very, very similar to Office 2010, so there isn't a whole lot to learn here. If you're moving to Office 2013 from Office 2007, there may be a bit of learning here, but once you get a hold of how the ribbon works, it's a really quick way of navigating through all the Office programs. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to insert an online video. So let's click Online Video here. Now we can search on Bing for a video, or we can go to YouTube directly, or if you have your own code that you may have grabbed from a website to embed the video, you can put that in right there and it'll work it out. But we can just search here and just find a funny cat video. And straight away it gives me all the information, all the videos that relate to my search, and I can pull that in straight away. There we go. Again, just as the image works, you can resize these and you can set your wrapping and your layouts. And again, you can see those guides that come up as I move it around. So if you were reading this, you can simply click directly onto the play button and it'll pull up the video for you automatically. And you can play that and watch that if you wanted to. So what this means is that your Word documents have become a lot more engaging because you're using more visual content, and it's a lot easier now to insert and use that visual content. Another great feature is that Microsoft now has offered their library of royalty-free images through Office clip art. So rather than the basic clip art, you can now access a lot richer content here. Again, this connects to Bing as well, so you can search for images on the web directly, and also if you have other services connected, such as I've got Facebook and Flickr connected here, and also my SkyDrive here as well. I can work through all of these. Great. If you need to do a lot of reading, or if you need to review articles, and you don't want to look at them, I guess, in this format, the new read view is really handy. So I've just clicked the View tab here at the top in the ribbon, and I'm just going to click Read Mode. So automatically you can see that it's converted this to an easy to read version of the document. So a little bit of the formatting's changed, but it just makes it easier to focus just on reading the text, and you can see the comments as well that have been included and some of the edits. And you can read this quite easily and scroll through. This works especially well on touch devices, so if you have a Surface RT or a Surface Pro, you can click through and swipe through on this, and it makes it really easy to navigate through your documents. You can also change this layout to what it would look like if this was printed out. So I've got a print layout here. So this is similar to the more traditional preview and reading mode. If I zoom out here, you can see it'll put pages side by side. If you have a higher resolution, it'll fit as much as it can on there too. So that's really handy. Great. So that's just a quick look at Microsoft Word. Another great feature is that you can now edit PDFs directly in Word. Before you had to do a little bit of conversion, but now you can open up PDFs and print to PDF quite easily, and that's just a matter of opening the PDF doc, and it'll be editable straight away. So you can see that Microsoft Word, which is one of the most popular Office products, has definitely had a bit of a boost, and it'll help you in your collaboration, but also in your productivity, and just being able to navigate through your documents a lot easier. Next, we're going to have a look at PowerPoint. Now, if you enjoy doing presentations, or if you find yourself having to do presentations, PowerPoint's a great app to help you do that. And of course, with the new update, the new themes especially will help you create visually engaging documents or visually engaging presentations straight away. There's now support for widescreen themes, so if you're using a new TV or a new projector that supports widescreen, you can do that natively through PowerPoint, where previously it was the old 4:3 ratio. Again, there are smart guides similar to what we've seen in Microsoft Word for organizing graphics. Again, if you're trying to add a lot of graphics or images or tables into your presentation, being able to line those up and make sure that they look good is really important. So the smart guides are really helpful. And we'll have a look at some of the great things that you can do with shapes and animation as well. Another feature that's fantastic, especially if you're doing lots of presentations, is the new presenter view, and I'll give you a demo of that, and that's what I'm using today. And that helps you see what's coming next and any notes that you've got, plus a few other cool features such as laser pointers and highlighters. Again, you can add comments to objects and track those comments, and as I mentioned, there are animations available. Now, animations are different to transitions. Previously, you could add, you could simply just do some basic transitions across your slides, but now you can animate your objects a lot easier. You could do this in 2010, but in 2013, you can do this a little bit easier now. So let's pull up PowerPoint and show you what we can do with this. Okay, so here's my demo presentation of PowerPoint. Firstly, I'm actually going to try and show you the new template. So when you click to create a new a new presentation, you're presented with all of these different types of templates. And these are designed really nicely, and they look really modern, and of course each of the templates will have all the slides all pre-designed. If you choose one template now and you want to change it later, you can do that quite easily. So I'm going to go back to the presentation now. And if I wanted to change the design or the template of this presentation, I just click the Design tab. And you'll see as I hover over these templates or these themes, it'll change the slide straight away for me. If I click this arrow here, you'll see there's quite a lot of, quite a number of options here. So let's go with Mesh. Again, as previous versions of PowerPoint had, you can also import themes from other presentations as well. Great. What I want to show you now is some of the great options that we can use when dealing with shapes. So I'm going to create a rectangle here, and this is really simple, just a rectangle. And as before, very simple to do. There are your design options up the top here. Again, really easy to use, so if you want to add some basic effects or styles, they're all here. I can change the color quite easily. These ones here also add some extra effects to them, so this one has a drop shadow and gradients as well. Of course, if you wanted to manually change any of these, that's not a problem. You can do that as well. And also you have all your layout options available to you right here in the ribbon. So what this means is that you have all your shape editing and image editing tools right here when you need them. All right, I'm going to insert another shape now as well. Just going to do a circle. So if you wanted to, you could create quite complex images depending on I guess what you're trying to achieve. Again, you'll find that the clip art library is available to you, and you can import images from websites through the Bing search, from your Facebook and Flickr and your SkyDrive, just like you could in Word. So here we go. I've just put a few shapes together to create a bit of a truck, I guess you could call it. And if I wanted to, I can edit each of these elements to create something a little bit different. So let's have a look at that. So I've clicked here on this shape, and you'll see on the right-hand side, this menu here has come up, giving me all the different options to add different effects. Now, what this means is that I can jump in here and change some of these settings straight away. So I've just changed the line color there. I can change the width of the line. And I can also change the different fills. Again, if you've used PowerPoint a lot, this should be fairly familiar to you. But another thing that I can do now is select these, and I can click on the Format tab, and this option here, Merge Shapes, now lets me combine these shapes together. And I'll show you why this is important. If you wanted to add effects to these images, so if I wanted to add a shadow, for example, I would have had to select all of these and then Shadow, and then add the shadow here. But as you can see, it doesn't really treat these objects as one object. It adds shadows to each of the individual objects, and what I really want is that whole object to be treated as one. So I'm just going to press undo, and now I'm going to merge these shapes together, and straight away you can see it's created one object, and I can add my shadow. We can add a little bit of a 3D effect to it as well. There we go. So it looks pretty cool. Now we want something that my truck can drive on, so I'm going to show you how to change the background. Again, using this this panel on the right hand side. I'm going to choose a background image from the online library. I'm going to use the Office clip art library and just search for a road or even a highway. As you can see, these are quite rich images, so it's no longer just the simple clip art. There's quite a lot of detail in these, proper photographs. We can just find a road for our truck to drive on. Okay, here we go. Just insert that. It'll download that file for me and automatically add it to the background. Now, as I was saying before, we can animate each of these objects if we want to. So I can click here on the Animations tab. And one of my favorite options now is the ability to add these motion paths. So you're not restricted to these basic animations which we've seen before, but now we can add motion paths as we could in 2010. But what this now gives us is a preview, and now it displays what that motion path is, and I can change that if I wanted to. So I want the truck to move across the page, and we click preview. There we go. We can see that this now moves across. And if you want to get a bit fancy, you can layer your animations. So clicking on the animation pane here brings up the animation pane. I may also want to add a bit of bounce. Okay, so great. So we'll add bounce, and we've got our line animation as well. So we're going to bounce the car across the road. Now I'm going to ask this to start with the previous one, and they're going to go at about the same time. So let's give that a test. Oh, there we go. Play it again for you. So what we end up having here is quite a simple way to add really engaging content to your presentations. And as I was saying before, if you want to get creative, there are lots of different options there for you to play with, especially with these animations. Okay, let's jump back over to our PowerPoint, our presentation here. And we're going to have a look at Excel. Now, Excel, people who love spreadsheets or need to work with spreadsheets, there are some really great features in 2013, and the two key ones are flash fill and the charts, the simple charts. All this means is that you have features at your fingertips that will make it a lot easier to add content to your cells, and also to add more visually engaging content such as charts and spark lines to your data. Really important if you want to, I guess, skip past all the numbers and just show what's happening in the easiest way possible. What I want to do is show you how these work. So I've got a couple of different data sets here. I'll look at sheet 1 first, and I want to show you how the flash fill works. There are a whole bunch of different things that you can use flash fill for, but I'm just going to show you two. So in this example, I have a column of names here, and if I want to combine these, previously what I would have had to do is insert a column and then manually type those up, or use a formula to combine those two fields together. But what I'm going to do instead is just start typing here. So I've used that first cell. Now if I type in here, you can see automatically Excel has worked out what I'm trying to do and has offered me suggestions of how to fill out the rest of the cells. Now you can imagine if you have large spreadsheets with large amounts of data, just how much time this can save you. And I'll just press enter there, and it's automatically filled out the rest of the content there, and that's taken me no time at all. I haven't had to work out any formulas or add any context in there. It's just done it for me. Same with this user ID. Let's say if I wanted to remove that hyphen, or if I wanted to separate it out and change the way that it's displayed, I can add I can start typing here. So let's say I just wanted to remove that hyphen from there and create a new data set here. If I did the same here, so start typing, again you can see that's automatically filled out the rest of the cells for me, removing the hyphen. So it's worked out straight away what I'm trying to do, and I just press enter and it fills it out for me. As I was saying, there are a lot of different examples of how FlashFill works. It's really intelligent and saves you a lot of time when you're dealing with large sets of data. So if you love your Excel, you'll be loving this new feature. I'm just going to jump over to the second sheet. Now I have just some basic data here that I've just thrown in together. And I'm going to show you how to create some easy graphics. You can see already that I've added some spark lines, and I've added some icon indicators here as well. I'm just going to select this and show you immediately. You get this new quick analysis menu pop up. I'm just going to click this. And if you work with data again, but you're never really sure how to get those charts working, or never sure how to display this easily, all of those options are now right at your fingertips. So we can add color scales, so we can show different colors, highlighting different cells and different amounts. The icon set, again, you see that it's changed and added arrows in there for us, and we can edit some of those later on. But the charts are that a lot of people ask for, and you can see here that you can choose your chart straight away, and that gets inserted really easily. There we go. I also quite like these spark lines as well. Spark lines, if you haven't seen them before, are really, really simple graphs. They don't have the X and the Y axis, but they give you a quick representation of what's going on with that data. We can also do charts from just a single row here. We can pull in the pie chart, for example. There we go. We can change the size and make edits to that. And again, really simple to use. Really handy if you just want to make some quick visual representations of your data. And as you can see, when I've clicked on this as well, at the top in the ribbon, I have all these design options, just like we've seen in Word and in PowerPoint as well. So I can change the look and feel of each of these charts. There we go. So these are the two key features in Excel which people have been really interested in. For me, I really love that flash fill example and being able to work with data really easily that way. All right, let's jump back over to the presentation. So that's a couple of the new features in Excel. All right, next we're going to look at Outlook. Outlook has been given quite a few new features that make it a lot easier to manage your contacts, manage your email, and even help you figure out what to wear on certain days. Now, I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm going to open up Outlook now. And you can see here that I have this set up with a reading pane on the right hand side here, just giving me the information about the email, plus my tasks in my calendar. Now this is fairly similar to the previous version of Outlook, but now I can also add tasks directly from here and add that to my to-do list. There's also these icons at the top where I can just focus on my unread emails. So if I just want to get to those that I need to respond to or that I haven't got around to yet, I can click on this straight away and all my unread emails from whatever folder that I have them in will appear. Again, you can see that some of these are tasks that I've completed, and again, this should be fairly familiar to you. But what we have is just a quicker way of accessing, especially those unread emails, but accessing the information that's important to you. Again, you can see that with the new social features, it's pulled up this user profile to that's connected to this email address. So Christine here, for example, has sent me an email as well, and that's given me her LinkedIn image there because she's added her email to her LinkedIn account, and I have LinkedIn connected so that Outlook can use, I guess, my LinkedIn account to search for images. And if I click here, again, I can see plenty of information about what's been happening on LinkedIn. I can see what's happening with her calendar, and I can send just previously.
Still dropped out. Sorry, Ben's audio has just dropped out. I think he's back now. Try again, Ben.
Is that working now? Great, sorry, not sure what happened there. So basically you can get a lot more information about your contacts here. And also if you want to add them to LinkedIn, that's really easy. You can hover over and then go to view source and add people. So that's a really great way to build your professional network as well. Down the bottom of the email, you can see the people who are involved in the conversation. So if there are more people who may have been CC'd in on this email, they would all be displayed at the bottom here as well. While we're looking at the bottom of the screen, you can see the links to calendar, to your contacts, and to your tasks. But as I hover over them, you can see that little pop-up menu comes up, and it makes it a lot easier just to preview what's coming up next in my calendar. For people, I can add people to my favorites, and they'll display there. And the other great feature is that it tells me when they're free. So if I want to schedule up a meeting with any of them, I can do that straight away from there and see their availability. And again, my tasks, which is quite simple. So let's have a look at the calendar feature. And as I was saying, you can check out what the weather is going to be tomorrow. So I can see here that it's going to be raining. And that's just connected to the weather service provided by Microsoft. And so, for example, if I'm organising any meetings, I don't have to fire up any other weather apps. I can see straight from Outlook what it's going to be tomorrow. And you can add different cities here. You can add up to 5 different locations, so you can see what it's going to be like interstate or in other parts of the country. So a really handy feature, especially if you're scheduling face-to-face meetings. The rest of this is quite familiar in terms of Outlook's calendar if you've been using Outlook 2010 in the past. All right. So that's just some of the new features in Outlook. You may also have an account on Outlook.com or through Hotmail. Those are natively supported in Outlook now, so they're really easy to set up, and of course that they're set up through your Microsoft account. You can also synchronize your tasks, so that means if you don't have access to your work's SharePoint or Exchange server, you can synchronize your accounts to your Outlook.com account and access your tasks there. So another really handy feature, especially if you're working with multiple email accounts through Outlook. All right. The next app that we want to have a look at today is called OneNote. Now, if you've ever had multiple emails and documents and ideas and websites that you want to pull together around a central idea, but you've had to manage lots of different bookmarks and trying to mess around with categories and folders, you know it can be tricky. Microsoft OneNote has had a fairly significant update in 2013. Okay, hold on, I'm just going to double check my internet connection here.
Can you hear me okay? Because we should be using the same internet connection. I think you'll be fine now, Ben.
Okay, sorry about that. Looks like we may have a bit of a wonky connection here. But Microsoft OneNote 2013 is an excellent way to manage all of your ideas. If you want to jot down some notes and tasks, if you want to pull information from websites and emails and your other documents into one place, OneNote really shines in this capacity. There's also a Modern UI app that is specialized for touch. So again, if you own a Windows 8 tablet or touch device, such as a Surface or Surface Pro, the OneNote app works really well. And of course, all your notes are synchronized through SkyDrive, so you can also access your notes from your Android device or your iOS device as well through the OneNote app. And I'm going to demo OneNote for you now. So this is the desktop version of OneNote. Really excellent product. The reason why I've been using it for work is that I can grab materials from my email and I can pull them into a note, and then I can make some edits and changes and add some graphics that I may have found online to match that document and bring it all together, and then I can maybe write an article from that, and it pulls all my information to one place. I don't have to open up 3 or 4 different programs to get all my information. Here's an example. I've just put together a sort of a demo for you. So I've created a notebook here. So all of your notes are stored in different notebooks. If you wanted to create a notebook for work, for home, maybe for a community group that you're involved with, you could add a notebook for that. But I've got a couple of different notebooks here. And so in my notebook I have different sections. So I can add sections depending on topic ideas or projects that I might be working on. But here I've got a section for home renovation. So we recently put down some laminate floorboards at home, and here's an example of how OneNote can help with that. So I've grabbed a picture from a website, and you can see that I just went online and hit the Share to OneNote button, and it's pulled up the picture, and I've pulled that out, and let me show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm in Internet Explorer here, and I'm just going to search Bing for laminate flooring. So there's all these different websites that I could grab laminate flooring information from. Here's the website that I went to, and I just right-clicked, and here we go. We can send this to OneNote straight away. Now I won't do that right now but I'll jump back over to OneNote. And so I've managed to pull in a photo. I've grabbed some text and highlighted that. So when I click highlight the text, you can see the menu options come up. Very similar again to all the other Microsoft Office products. Very similar interface, and it's also given me the URL of where I grabbed that from. So if I want to go to double check that later on, I can do that. And on this image, so there's images here, and we've checked out the floorboards, and they look quite nice. But I also quite like this chair, so I've inserted a circle here. So I've clicked draw at the top, and I can insert different shapes. I can also do some handwriting and some highlighting. Now you can imagine if you have a device that uses touch but also includes pen support, so Surface Pro has a pen that you can use. You can do your own handwritten notes directly into OneNote, and what's great is that you're not confined to just text options and having to write inline. You can create notes anywhere here. So I just click here and I can start typing. Hello, this is a new comment. And I can pull that around. I could drag this over here if I wanted to. So what this means is if you're used to taking notes in just handwriting them in a notepad and you just want to write or draw or annotate things really easily, OneNote really has that feel of a notebook rather than just putting text in a text editor. We can also add different things such as checklists. So these are the different things I need to get for our project. So I need to get some snacks. So if I wanted to get some snacks, I can hit that button and tick it if I've got them. And also, I've also gone to Bing and taken directions of a shop, and I've emailed that to myself. And I'll show you how that works. So I've asked Bing to get me directions from the office here to a bamboo flooring shop. That's not too far away, but it's given me the directions on how to get there. Now, if I wanted to come back to this later, I can email this to myself. Oops, just lost my mouse. Okay, I can share this over to email. Allow this. Okay, and once that's done is opened up my Outlook account. I just email it to myself and click send. I could email it to anybody, or if I had another address, I could email it to that. So now I have that in my mail, so that's just arrived. So now I've got directions for this in my email account and also in my OneNote, and I'll show you how to do that. So I click send to OneNote. I'm going to choose flooring options is where I want to send it. I'll just click OK, and here we go. So this is the one that I added before, and this is the one that's just come in. And so it's given me the email information here, but then it's also got the content of the email, which is that map. So if I click this now, it'll open up Internet Explorer for me, and it'll take me directly to the big map, and I can get back to my directions. So again, really handy if you want to do a whole lot of research first and then refer to it later on. And that's all in OneNote. You can also create sub-pages as well. So I've got a page for flooring options and then a sub-page here for the tools, and I've have some links here to videos to help me do the installation, but all sorts of information that you can pull into OneNote. Now I'm running Windows 8 on my laptop here, and I'm just going to pull up the OneNote app. So I'll show what I've done there. So I've just clicked OneNote here. So this is the start menu. I'm just clicking OneNote, and now you can see what this looks like in the Modern UI app. Now again, this works really well for touch devices, and you can see that the interface changes a little bit. It's taken away some of the toolbars, just simplified the whole lot. And I'm going to click here, and you can see when I clicked, this little button comes up. And I'm going to click this button, and a new menu comes up. Now this menu makes it really easy to add new elements to your notes. You can tag your notes. Again, on touch devices, this works really nicely. Rather than having to flick through all your different menu options or your toolbars, you can do it straight from here. Another great feature is, especially if you're carrying your tablet around with you and you want to grab a photo, you can do this. You can grab a photo of the camera. There we go, that's me. There we go, so I've taken that photo. Okay, and then that's going to insert it into OneNote for me right there. There you go, and I can synchronize that back to my desktop app if I want to, and have all the information straight away. There we go. So that's OneNote, and of course OneNote, as I was saying before, synchronizes through SkyDrive, and we'll have a quick look at the consumer version of SkyDrive now as well. So SkyDrive is Microsoft's cloud storage and document editing solution for individuals, but also there's SkyDrive Pro, which you can synchronize with SharePoint. That's for sort of business users and enterprise users, and you get SkyDrive Pro access through the donated software through TechSoup Asia. But we'll just have a quick look at the basic SkyDrive version here. So you can access all your documents in the cloud and synchronize them across your different devices. So you can download the SkyDrive app for your desktop computer, and you can have a SkyDrive folder, and it will synchronize the files in the SkyDrive folder for you. So right now I have all my documents synchronized through SkyDrive, so I can pick them up on any computer that I want to. And that's really handy, especially here at work, where I may use different devices in the office, but also I may also want to access my documents from home, and I do that primarily through SkyDrive now. With the basic account, you get free storage as well, plus upgrade options, and access to the Microsoft Office web apps, which it's different to Microsoft Office, the desktop version. It's a stripped down version. It's live editing online, and you can also collaborate with that. So you can have multiple people editing your documents at the same time. Really handy if you want to do some live collaboration. So I might just show you how I'm using SkyDrive. I'm going to jump back over to Microsoft Word here. And I'm going to show you, when I click Open, automatically it brings up Bentio SkyDrive. I can access my SkyDrive directly from Word, and all of my documents are available to me. So I can go to the SkyDrive folder, which I've got synchronized here on my computer, but even if I didn't have the desktop app installed, this will access my cloud documents for me. So I can edit documents quite easily if I wanted to that are stored in the cloud. I can also do other web locations if I wanted to, but SkyDrive is there by default. Also, if I was going to save a document, having SkyDrive there as an option is really handy. And so I can also show you what this looks like in Internet Explorer. So I've just opened up Internet Explorer here. I've logged into SkyDrive automatically, and you can see all my my folders are available to me. If I wanted to, I can open up a document. So this is a Word document, and this is now going to open up in the web app version of Word. Again, it's fairly simple, and I can share this if I wanted to. So I can share documents with anybody I want to. A great feature here is that people don't need to have a Microsoft account or a SkyDrive account to open up documents. They can view it live straight away, or I can have the option that people need to sign in first before they can edit the document. Also, I can turn off editing functions if I don't want them to be able to edit it. And of course, I can also share to my social media accounts if I wanted to. So a really handy way to share documents out. And you can do this with folders as well. So folders of documents, you can do the same thing. But I can do some live edits. Switch over to edit mode. and you'll see that there's a ribbon here that's very similar to the Microsoft Word ribbon, just a little bit simplified. I can do, this is a live edit. And if I wanted to, I can add more people to this document, and we can all edit this at the same time and watch each other as we type. Again, very familiar layout. If you've been using Word, you can do this. I can hit open in Word, and this will then fire up Microsoft Word for me, and I can use the more robust editor. So there we go. Okay, it's just opening up for me now. There was just a note, a warning note to say that some files may have viruses. Great warning. But here we go. This is it. Open up in Microsoft Word. So if you're using Microsoft Office, integrating it in with your Windows account, or your Microsoft account, sorry, also lets you integrate it with your SkyDrive account. Another great feature is if I am logged in with my Microsoft ID, if I open up a document at home and I do some editing and then I close it and then I open it back up in Word at work, it will actually ask me whether I want to pick up where I left off. And if I click yes, it will take me there immediately, which is very handy. So that's just a quick look at what you can do with SkyDrive. Again, you can all right, am I still back? Oh dear. Hopefully I'm back. Yeah, great. All right. So again, Microsoft Office, the latest version of Microsoft Office is really well integrated, especially with the cloud features, but also ties in with your Microsoft account. If you're using Windows 8, you would have noticed how integrated your Microsoft account is across apps such as the store and Mail and all the other features there. It just means that now with SkyDrive combined with your Microsoft account, you can use just about any computer that's running Windows 8 and log into that and access all your files and make your edits and then log back off just as if you'd be using that computer all the time. So really, really handy features, especially when you need to access your documents from anywhere. So that brings us to, I guess, the end of the presentation there. We might just open up for any questions that you may have about those programs in particular, or about how to integrate your SkyDrive account with your Office programs. Thanks, Christine.
One question here, and just before I talk about the questions, if anyone has questions, this is the time for you to type them in the question box and we will go through them one by one. We only have one at the moment, and the question is Microsoft 2013 compatible with Windows 2003 or 2007?
Can you say that again?
Am I coming through? Yep. The question is Microsoft 2013 compatible with Windows 2003 or 2007?
Yes, sorry, it looks like we're having a bit of some audio difficulties here. Yes, you can open older documents up in the new version of Office. You can also save your documents as more compatible documents as well. So let's say I wanted to save this document. I can change some of the some of the settings, especially if there's somebody using 2003. You can change this from docx down to .doc. So you go back all the way to Word 97 if you really wanted to in terms of compatibility, but there won't be any problems opening older documents at all.
This is another question about more Office 365 and Office 2013. Which one is better for not-for-profits to use?
Yeah, it's a good question and one that we get a lot. And really, it'll come down to the needs for your organisation. So there are lots of different options, whether you go down the Office 365 path and go down that way completely, or if you still need those desktop versions and prefer that, then you can go with the Office that's available through TechSoup Asia. It's yeah, look. You will have to look at the different features of each. Office 365 is focused largely on the cloud, and that's its real benefit, is that if you need a lot of cloud support and you have a lot of remote workers, then Office 365 can offer you that functionality. You can do similar sorts of things with desktop versions and servers, server software. Again, access donations from Microsoft for that sort of software, but it really needs to come down to the needs for your organisation and to weigh up, I guess, the benefits and the restrictions of each product.
Great. Anyone has any other questions about Office 2013? Ben went through a lot of demo of each of them and played around. So I hope you found the presentation interesting and informative and gave you a clear understanding whether or not you already used this 2013 or whether you're thinking of using 2013. Hopefully that gives you a better idea on what you can do with it. And if you like it, then hopefully we'll see you using the product pretty soon. Looks like, yeah, no one else has any other questions. So I guess on that note, I would like to thank everyone for staying online and for joining us today. I apologize again for the technical difficulties, the audio dropouts and all that. It rarely happens to us, so I'm sorry for that. And as I mentioned, we will send the link to the recording to you on a follow-up email along with an evaluation form. If you can please fill out the evaluation form, that would be very useful for us to understand what kind of topics you'd like to hear about in our future webinars, so we can make sure that all our events meet your needs and actually we'll be able to help you with your not-for-profit work. Thank you, Ben, for presenting. Thank you, Jillian, and to Microsoft for making this happen. And we hope to see you at next month's webinar, which is about Microsoft SharePoint, and that will be held on the 30th of April on discovering Microsoft SharePoint, and then in May, on the 29th of May, there's about cloud computing for not-for-profits and what are the things that you need to consider before you move to the cloud. So on that note, thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and hope to see you again next month. Bye.